Hey everybody, it is Alexis, and I'm here to talk about books. Insert generic music as a cute intro here. If I can figure out how to, edit that in later in the editor, I will definitely put some cute music in. If not, you could tell that I couldn't figure out how to do it. But I am here to talk about books today, and not just any books, but Usborne books and more books. I have become an Usborne consultant about a month ago, and I have a small collection of books that I really personally love that are in my collection that I wanted to share with you guys who may not really know what Usborne books and more books are and who may be interested in them but don't really know where to start. So I have a few for different age groups, so I figured I'd go through them. I have about baby to toddler to about middle school, and I figured I'd give you a tour of why I like each book that I have. This is the first that I'm going to talk about. It's a mini machine set. It is by James Croft, and there's actually 4 books in here. This is a baby or toddler book. It is more of a board book, a simpler book. They have really cute colors, really sturdy pages. This one is called Dave's Digger. There is also Bill's Bulldozer, Dan's Dump Truck, and Carl's Crane. There's some really cuteness is in the story. There's some rhyming things. The digger scoops rocks from a pile on the ground, then trundles along with a clankety sound. A super sturdy book, and they're chewable. My dog has chewed on the box sleeve that it came in, which is also pretty cool. And it still has held up, and he's a bulldog, so anything he chews on is usually completely destroyed. Luckily, Usborne Books & More has a 50% replacement policy. If you contact a consultant with a book that you have that is damaged, they can get you a replacement for half off the cost, which is super cool. I might do that with this, but really, it doesn't affect the functionality of them ever, so I'm going to probably just stick with it. I got these for my nephews, who are 6 months and 3. They are super awesome books for kids of various age ranges. My 3-year-old nephew hasn't really gotten a hold of regular pages yet. They're a little too delicate for him, so these board book pages are super awesome. But they're also good for the 6-month-old because he can practice holding books and looking at books and instills a love of reading even in a baby, which is super awesome, and that's exactly what we want to do in promoting literacy. So that's my baby or toddler recommendation, Mini Machines. As I said, this is from my personal library. This is some books I'm trying to sell you. These are my favorite books so far that I've gotten, and I just wanted to share them with you. The next book I have is more of a story time book. It is called Bob is a Unicorn. This is the first book I got through Usborne Books & More. I got it because I just thought it was the cutest thing ever, and it's one of the simpler books I found that they have. It's totally a story that you can read at story time that isn't going to take you 45 minutes. It might take you less than 10. The first page is Bob is not a unicorn. Everyone can see that but Bob. And this page is super simple. It doesn't have any illustrations. But throughout the book, you have all of these animals that are on the back. You know, you have the moose, you have the turtle, you have the rooster, and the donkey, and the penguin, and the little mouse, and the polar bear. And all of them are too busy for Bob, who is not a unicorn. And the illustrations throughout are pretty simple, but they're also still super cute. And the colors, especially if this blue background, is super vibrant, and it makes it pop even though it's simple, which I like. And throughout the book, all these animals are just too busy for Bob. They're like, Bob, you are not a unicorn. And at the very end, Bob finds a fairy princess who is like, Bob, you are the most beautiful unicorn in the whole entire world. And Bob is like, yes, I am an amazing, gorgeous unicorn, like every unicorn should be. And then you find out that Bob is not a unicorn, and the princess is not a real fairy princess, but they are trying their best, and they are believing in themselves, and that is all that matters. And truly, that's what the story is about, and it really is just the cutest little bedtime story that I absolutely recommend to everyone. I love it. It's the first book I bought, and I can't give it up. The next story I have is more of an elementary story. This seems to be one of the books that most people purchase when they do purchase a book, and I can understand why when I got it. It's called The Dinosaur Who Lost His Roar, and this is part of the Read with Usborne series. This is level 2. There's 4 levels. There's new readers, there's developing readers, which is this one. There's confident readers, and there's a step to chapter books. This is more for readers who already have a little bit of an established grip on reading. So you'd probably find this around 1st or 2nd grade, but really You could read this to your kid at home, and you could even do structured reading where they read with you, because there are tons of words in here where it's like crashing or splashing, and when they go through and they get to this big print and they see what it is, they'll remember what it is after you read it over and over again, and they'll end up reading it with you. So even if they're not there yet, this would be a good book to add to your library because you can read it at bedtime, and it's a super cute book. It's about a dinosaur who basically gets a sore throat and loses his roar, but then at the end his throat feels better and he can roar again. My favorite thing about this is the colors. The pink in here is so vibrant. This is Sid the Dinosaur, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It pops off the page. This was the first thing I thought when I picked up this book. I personally didn't buy it. I had it shipped to me for one of my clients, and I absolutely adored it and had to buy it myself because just look at the colors. It is so cute, and the illustrations themselves are also amazing. This is my favorite one of all the little dinosaurs and Sid, and it's just a really cute book, and it tells a really good story, and it's something that your kid, if they're getting into reading, can read by themselves, which is super cool. It's about 47 pages, so it's a pretty long book, so it would be good in an elementary school classroom, but also good for story time if you just want to kick back and read a little bit of a longer story. The last book I have for you is called No Worries. This is a mindful kids activity book for young people to color and doodle their way to being happy, calm, and confident. Use creativity to combat stressful moments, work out worries, and put anxiety back in its place with the writing and drawing activities. So this basically is a book that is great for any age. I'm a full-grown adult some days, and I really like this book. You could do it for middle schoolers. They could definitely use this book by themselves, and they wouldn't really need any structured guidance. But if you're going for littler kids, elementary school or so, you would definitely want to help them with it, because while the concepts are perfect for learning to identify stressful feelings, anxiety feelings, worry, any of those negative feelings, it is really good on teaching kids how to identify them and teaching them how to deal with them, which is amazing. There was a consultant who was a psychotherapist that worked with the publisher and the writer of this book to make it an awesome activity book. My favorite part of this are the worry monsters. So basically what you have kids do is you have them draw their worries as monsters, which is a super great way to get them thinking about what it is that really is upsetting them or stressing them out. And then on the next page, you talk about how to stomp out your worry monsters, or how you can destroy them. You can step on them, you can lock them in a cage, you can squish them, you can put them in a jar, you can do all sorts of things. But there's a whole book is filled with pages just like this, where it teaches kids to think about what those negative feelings are that sometimes they don't know how to identify. Think about ways to cope with them, which is definitely something that children would do in therapy. And if you don't want to take that step because you don't think your kiddo is quite in the need of therapy but has some anxieties, definitely want to check out this book. It is amazing. I love it so much that I haven't been able to write in it. I haven't brought myself to do that. I think I'm going to end up photocopying the pages and coloring them in, or buying another one just for myself so I can have one that isn't colored in and then one that is. But they're definitely just beautiful, beautiful pages. Just all sorts of meditation techniques, and techniques about like self-mindedness and learning about what's going on in your body. This is another great one. It's the happy jar. You fill the jar with happiness. Anything that makes you happy goes in the jar. But I know there's another page in here where it is the worry jar, where you put all the things that worry you in the jar, and you put the cap on, and you screw the cap on, and you leave them in the jar, which is a technique they teach you at therapy. So it's pretty cool that there are a lot of pages like that in this book that can really help littles and older kids get to understand what's going on inside them and learn coping mechanisms, which is an awesome, awesome thing for Usborne Books and More to do. Definitely recommend this book to everyone. There's a couple more in the series, and I just went out and purchased all of them because I love it so much. So I definitely recommend you to look into that. Those are my books. I wanted to just make a quick video for you so you could see all the different books. I hope I didn't speak too fast, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic day and you enjoyed this video so much. Have a great day, be safe, and do nice things.